Hi, I'm John Moyer, and can I just say I am really jealous of all of you TelexFREE promoters that are headed to Las Vegas for the TelexFreakend. Don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm going to be there too. I'm actually the hypnotist comedian that's going to be performing a free show for you on Friday night and Saturday, but I'm going there to perform. You're actually going there to learn proven techniques and strategies that are going to help you double, maybe even triple your TelexFREE income with doing a little more than what you're doing right now. The only way for me to double my income is to actually train my 6-year-old child to be a and then send him out on the road to work too. And unfortunately, we have child labor laws in this country which prevent me from doing that. So I'm not going to do that in Las Vegas for the TelexFreakend. That's a whole different situation. I'm going to be there, just me performing, not my kids. But you'll be there to learn. And after you learn these amazing new strategies, you can check out my free show Friday night and Saturday. I will see you in Las Vegas for the TelexFreakend.
The United States, so I'm not sure if she's going to make it. And then hopefully we're also going to have a special guest, Jay Godwin, is going to be on to talk to us here in a few minutes also. So a couple things we want to go over, like we've been doing. I want to read a legal disclaimer here, if you guys will bear with me for just 1 minute. So this is a training and strategies webinar hosted by an independent company who are active promoters in TelexFREE. Any financial data contained is for illustration purposes only. Past performances or our results is not an indicator of future gains for you or other viewers. Due diligence should always be conducted prior to entering into any business opportunity, and management of your business ventures are your sole responsibility. I'm getting some feedback there too. And management of your business ventures are your sole responsibility. These webinars may also contain privileged or highly confidential information. Excuse me 1 second here. We ask that you respect our intentions for your success and discuss these topics for your consideration only. If you are viewing this recording in error or are not the rightfully intended recipient, please immediately disregard the communication, notify the sender, and delete any electronic copy and/or hard printed copy. Any unapproved forwarding, sharing, copying, editing, dissemination, disclosure, or other distribution of any or all portions of this webinar in any form or attached materials is covered under the Electronic Communications Privacy Act. So like we've said before, we go through that because we're doing these webinars for training purposes for TelexFREE promoters, and we hope all of you understand that there are things you can put out on the internet and blast out there for marketing purposes, and there are things that you should not. And so some of the things we discuss on here maybe you should not. So it's not intended that this is going to be put out there all over the internet. This is for for our training purposes, for your training purposes. So with that being said, we're going to get started here. And let's see, LJ, are you with me? And do you have any corporate updates you would like to go over?
Hi, Roy. Can you hear me?
I can, LJ. Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. I am always with you, Roy. Always with you. You just ask and I'm there. I am looking over some stuff here, and I don't see any current recent corporate updates that I'm going to bring up to anybody on the fly here on the moment. I do have some really exciting news about some information that we're going to be sharing at Vegas. You have not heard this. I repeat, you have not heard this yet. We will be sharing some very exciting information at the Vegas event, TelexFreakend.com. So I'd love to talk about that, but first, I'm looking forward to hearing from Jay Godwin. I do see Jay Godwin on the computer screen. For those of you who are new to the call, Jay Godwin is one of the pioneers of My Financial Advantage. He's a good friend of ours, and he's helped us with updates in regards to My Financial Advantage. We've had the pleasure of meeting him. We've had the pleasure of spending time with him on the events. We appreciate him being on these calls, and any news or updates regarding Vegas or anything else going on would be fantastic. I do know that we've got confirmation that Joe Kraft will be in Vegas as well as Brian Beach, and if there's anything that's exciting from you, Jay, we'd love to hear it. Jay, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you loud and clear, Jay. What's up?
Fantastic. I got nothing. Nothing to say, no updates, no nothing. Guys, we are running fast and furious here trying to get ready for all of this. I wanted you to know, guys, I spoke to Joe Kraft in great detail this morning about some of the content that he is going to be releasing in Vegas. One of the biggest questions that we're getting, a lot of the TelexFREE promoters are new to this type of an income level, and they're having an awful lot of challenges or questions concerning taxes. So Joe has put together a complete package just for the TelexFREE promoters as far as taxes goes. And he is going to be presenting that information for the first time from stage in Vegas. So guys, I get your questions, I get your emails. I know you guys are struggling with this out there. Don't worry, you know, there's not a better person in the country to talk about taxes than Joe Kraft. Joe has been taking care of mine personally for quite some time. The guy is absolutely incredible. For those of you who don't know who Joe Kraft is, Joe is the creator of the Money Tracks program. He is our partner in My Financial Advantage. Joe also owns a huge accounting firm based over in Indiana and handles all of the fulfillment for the MFA as far as Money Tracks over in Indiana. But Joe also is the CFO of TelexFREE. That's how much you know, Jim and Carlos and everybody, how much faith they have in him. They recruited him to come on board and help direct the you know, the TelexFREE train. So Joe has an awful lot of content for you. So be prepared to take notes. It's going to be extremely educational. We went over some of it this morning. Guys, there's some content in there that you just have got to have. So if you haven't booked your trip to Vegas, please do so. You know, again, I see the income level that TelexFREE promoters are coming in with, and you know, a lot of you guys have not been in this situation before, so be careful. Do not get yourself in tax trouble. You've got somebody like Joe Kraft sitting right out there waiting, willing to help you. Take advantage of it. He'll be spending time. He's also going to do a Q&A out there that he has not done before. So, you know, there's any questions that you guys have, again, take notes. You know, take a list of questions, pick his brain. The guy is an absolute genius. And if I haven't said it already, he is also a New York Times best-selling author on the topic. So guys, take advantage of that. Brian Veach and I have been working on some of the content for his message in Vegas. And what he's going to bring to you guys is a comprehensive plan to begin to market this outside of TelexFREE promoters. Brian has worked with me for coming up on 20 years now. We've taken this message directly to the general public, you know, with relationships such as Bank of America and Chase and Remax. You know, Brian has had years and years of experience in marketing this program to bankruptcy attorneys, divorce attorneys, car dealerships. So he's going to have a wealth of information on how you can take MFA to the masses and really boost your income. Guys, one of the other things that I want to remind you, as you're taking this to the masses, remember that a lot of these people that you're going to be marketing to that are not in TelexFREE, they have credit issues for a reason. They've got these problems for a reason, and usually it's lack of income. So I would strongly encourage you. I see what you guys make. I see the opportunity. Once you help people get into MFA and you help them start working on their credit, you help them start changing their lives and eliminating debt, guys, offer them the opportunity. I mean, I am in rooms every weekend now all across the country. I see what you guys are making. I'm you know, working with Joe Kraft every week. I see the opportunity, and I just can't help but think these MFA clients that you're going to be approaching desperately need what somebody else offered to you. So Brian is going to spend quite a bit of time out there with you guys in Vegas. He's going to make himself available again for question and answer, just like Joe. And Brian will spend as much time with you off stage as you need. Whatever we can do to help get your marketing going for the MFA product, you know, Brian's there and ready to rock and roll, ready to be a part of it. So, you know, guys, it's going to be an exciting event. I wish I could be there with you guys. Vegas is a lot of fun, but just being, you know, there with Rob and LJ and Roy, I mean, that would be a fantastic trip. So I'm sorry that I'm going to miss it. But you guys, like I said, take notes. With the information that Joe Kraft has, you guys really, really need it. So take advantage of being able to pick his brain. Now, guys, the only other thing that I have that I want to throw out there to you is a little updated achievement number. I talked to Mike over at Equity Tracks, and Mike told me that right now we are about to break $12 million saved by TelexFREE promoters and the individual clients that they have taken the message to. We're about to break $12 million, guys. I mean, what you're doing is just fantastic. I mean, it's unbelievable. I knew you guys would turn up big numbers. I had no idea that you guys would do it the way that you are. So congratulations. You know, Rob and LJ and Roy, thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you for your partnership. You know, MFA, we are in awe every day of what you guys are doing and you know, what you guys bring to the table for us. So, guys, thank you so much. Again, if you haven't booked, please get out to Vegas. Take notes. Pick Joe's brain. It's going to be a great event, guys. LJ, thank you so much for bringing me on, buddy.
No problem, Jay. Hey, Jay, you know, not to put you on the spot, but we've been getting a question that's been coming up here and there. I was just curious on, not a timeline, but do they have an idea of when TelexFREE, or if they plan on integrating this into the back office?
Yeah, I've seen an awful lot of updates come through on that recently. In fact, Jay, I know that Jay was in Boston at the corporate office. They have brought in some assistance as far as bringing in, you know, putting our stuff, our link on the site, and you know, building out their back office for MFA. I have not seen an exact date, but I know that they are working on it. Brian House updates me every morning. So I don't have a launch date for that, but we are really, really close. And our side of it is already built and ready. So as soon as Jay has his done, we just plug it in. You know, the API tracks everything. So the stuff that you guys already have in the system is already accounted for and covered. Just the minute that Jay gets it live, we're good to go. The other thing
fantastic.
Yeah. Jay's really been working hard on that. His team has really been busting their butts. The other thing that we have, you know, as you know, we have been doing all of this through ACH. You know, the idea is that we really don't want people to use credit to get into our program. But we've been asked repeatedly by TelexFREE promoters if we would look into adding credit cards, and we have done so. So it looks as if we're going to have credit cards live and on the site by the 20th of February. So, you know, just before you guys get out to Vegas, all of that will be done.
That's fantastic. Has Jay let the cat out of the bag on the current sales that have taken place, or the acquisitions that have been done by you all of customer base? Has he let it out the bag whether or not it was going to be retroactive on those sales?
As far as commissioning? Ask that question again, LJ. I don't think I got it. I don't think I understand what you're asking.
No, as far as commissioning, that's correct. I'm sorry. I keep having to mute and unmute and mute and unmute.
No problem. Yeah, no, it is retroactive. In fact, all of the commissioning is already done in our system, and we're just waiting for the link to be live so that we can transfer the money and transfer, you know, the data dump to get everybody paid. So yeah, absolutely. Anything that you put in the system at this point is accounted for. Commissioning will be handled. Just a minute that Jay gets everything live, it goes over.
That's great news. I really appreciate that information. For those of you on this call that have upline, that send emails, not including Roy. For those of you who are on this call and know people who send emails up the ladder to the different lines of communication that we have, you know, when you sold this product, you sold a My Financial Advantage. Get those emails to corporate. You know, call customer support. You know, get those emails to corporate to get corporate moving in the right direction to go ahead and get this thing integrated. Been getting a lot of those questions lately, and I'm glad that you had an answer for us, Jay. And again, appreciate your time, man. I know that you're really busy, and thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thank you for having me, guys, and thank you for your commitment.
Okay.
Thank you, Jay.
So, Roy, is Rob on the phone?
Yes, Rob is in the house. Yes, Rob.
Hey, Rob, how are you?
I'm here, LJ.
How are you?
I'm great, pal. How are you?
Hey, would you take pretty good? Would you mind taking a moment to tell us about the awesome weekend we have planned here in about
Hi, I'm John Moyer. I am the hypnotist comedian that is headlining your main entertainment on Friday night and Saturday as part of the Telex Freekend in Las Vegas, Nevada. And here's the thing. You're going to be part of Telex Freekend, and you're going to learn amazing strategies that are going to help you more than double, maybe even more than triple your current Telex-free income with doing a little more than what you're doing right now. But the beautiful thing is you don't have to bring your doubled or tripled income to see my hypnosis comedy show, because my hypnosis comedy show is completely free. Isn't that beautiful? You can double your income but not have to spend your doubled income to see my free hypnosis comedy show. And even though it's funny, that is no joking matter. I take that very seriously. But I will see you in Las Vegas.
I will gladly, and Roy, if you can just pull up that, perfect, I appreciate that. Everybody, you are in store again for a great weekend, and if you have not made your plans, you need to make your plans. And I was just speaking to somebody earlier this morning who's flying from the Texas area, the Houston area, and grabbed a great airfare price of just under $300 to get to Las Vegas for the weekend. So there are very affordable airfare prices out there, and most importantly, we want you all to come. This is open to all TelexFREE promoters worldwide. There, I think, are 3, if not 4 continents represented that are coming to Las Vegas. As you'll see right here on this domain, which is TelexGlobal-publicsharepoint.com, and we'll get that in the box here, the chat box, so that you can have access to it. It has already been distributed in emails, and it's also on the note section for our webinar topics. But as you toggle through this website here, you'll be able to see what's going on for Friday. You can see that word ribbon just under United Training and Education Vegas. You can click on the tab for Friday, Saturday, our speakers, what's going on at Bally's, registering for the event, and even contacting somebody. So again, a lot of effort is being put forth into this weekend so that you walk away from this weekend experiencing 200, 300, 400% results than what you are typically used to with your TelexFREE business. As Jay Godwin indicated earlier, many of the promoters out there who are coming to MFA and seeking tax-based advice to really want to get an understanding of what it is now that they've made this money. More importantly, it's what we do and how we keep the money that we are making. This weekend is set up just for that, not only to magnify and explode your business and the marketing of that, but to manage effectively the income that's being generated from your TelexFREE business, as well as hear kind of perspective of what is going on with the weekend itself. As you'll see on this screen right here, what the lineup is for Saturday. We're going to get things started at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's going to go from 8 until 5. We've got kind of a midday lunch there, which is a working lunch. You'll have the opportunity to kind of go outside of the meeting hall and go into the foyer, grab your lunch, come back into the meeting hall, and get right back to work and kind of eat as you're learning. So again, the panel of people that are speaking on Saturday have a tremendous amount of education, not only within this industry, but more importantly, as it pertains to TelexFREE. You're going to hear from people who are true represented leaders, not only within TelexFREE, but this industry. We encourage you to give this site a good look. These are live and real-time updates, so as you have access to your smartphones, tablets, notebooks, laptops while you're in Las Vegas, please refer to these so you know exactly what is happening and when it's happening. The last piece I want to kind of focus on here is in reference to many of you have registered or made a reservation but have not yet completed your payment. We encourage you, implore you, ask you to go back and make your appropriate payments. You have 2 choices of payments that you know of. One is a back office payment for $303 for your event ticket. If you are coming with your spouse, your marital spouse, they are allowed to come for another $150. So in reference to the math, you could send $453 in a back office transfer through your TelexFREE back office to the username Global marketing. Again, the username global marketing. Should you wish to pay through PayPal, you can do that as well. There's a PayPal button at the bottom of the registration page. In addition, the page that you're looking at now, you can register there as well through a management application and service site called Eventbrite. For those of you who were in Orlando, you'd be familiar with Eventbrite. Ideally, what's going to happen in the future, for those of you coming to Las Vegas, you're going to get an email from Eventbrite. Within that email is going to be your confirmation number indicating that you've paid. You can bring a copy of that, print it off, and or bring a copy of that and or download the Eventbrite app to your smartphone. It is Apple and Android friendly. And just bring your phone, come to the registration desk. We'll get you your registration materials, your badges, and your credentials, and away you go for the weekend. Ideally, the purpose of this weekend is to network and to spend time, interacting and engaging with people instead of standing in lines. I just want to give you kind of a quick highlight of what is going to happen in reference to, dates and times. Friday, you'll have the ability to register between 4 and 7 o'clock at the hotel, 4 and 7 o'clock for the weekend. One of the three of us, Roy, LJ, or myself, will be at the registration table during that time. You'll have the opportunity to interact certainly with us, ask any on-site questions as well. If you have specific questions, not only about Bally's, but more importantly about how you can interact with some of the speakers. For example, Joe Godwin made mention of the availability of Joe Kraft and Brian Veach. Brian Veach is going to be on property on Friday as well, early. So those of you arriving early, let's ensure if you have some questions for Brian and want some individual time with him, let's make sure that happens. As Friday continues from about 6:30 until 8 o'clock is our kind of registration and reception prior to the 8 o'clock show. For those of you bringing guests to the Las Vegas show and presentation Friday night, you want to get them there certainly by 7 o'clock or so that they can get registered. The importance of that is, we want to be able to stay in touch with them. Also, too, we're going to be giving away some great prizes and gifts that night as well. We want to make sure it gets to the right person. And then at 8 o'clock, the presentation is going to begin from a couple of very skilled presenters and people. There's also going to be a Q&A section at the end of this presentation and show, whereby Brian Veach, Joe Kraft, Todd Beetlejewski, Roy Lentz, Terry Sassoni, others who have demonstrated themselves as capable and skilled leaders within the TelexFREE arena who can answer questions from the audience. We're going to have an enrollment experience for Telex MFA as well as those who want to get started as TelexFREE promoters that night. Certainly looking forward to that. And then, the entertainment for the night is John Moyer. John Moyer, as you all can see and go to his website, which is johnmoyer.com. He's a great and well-acclaimed comedian as well as hypnotist. We're all in for a great show with him that night. There is going to be a bar available to you all, a full service bar from 6:30 to 10:30, so you can get a drink, grab some snacks, and have some fun, interact, network, work with the people who you are bringing to that event that night so that you can get their questions answered. More importantly, get them started in their TelexFREE business or get them engaged and enrolled into Telex MFA. On Saturday, we already went through kind of the highlights of what's going on there. There will be people who won't be able to attend Friday night, but certainly are going to be there on Saturday. We encourage all of you to get there, early in the morning. Those of you who have pre-registered and have already paid, your badging credentials will have a separate color band on it. That banding will allow you kind of preferred seating in the training room that morning. So for those of you who have taken advantage of getting paid and registering early, you will have high priority and certainly desired visibility while you're in that room on the training on Saturday. In addition, another domain name that I just want you all to be aware of is TXG Events. TXG Events. That's just kind of a shortened domain name for this site as well. So again, we're looking forward to seeing everybody. really in for a great, great weekend. I want to just acknowledge those of you who are tirelessly working behind the scenes to make sure the architecture of this weekend is put together the way it should be. A special shout out to Roy, LJ, of course, Joe, Gary, Damon, Kevin, Daniel, Manoj, and Terry, and also Leilani and Brandy as well. You all have really kind of stepped up, and I want to thank you and acknowledge you all. This is truly a weekend that you want to be at. There isn't a thing within the TelexFREE framework that we're not going to cover. Results speak for themselves. The title of today's webinar is the potential truly of educating, of participating, and activating. Just keep those things in mind. LJ, Roy, appreciate my little moment here about the weekend. You are absolutely in for a great, great weekend. As Jay said, do anything and everything you can to be there this weekend, or excuse me, next weekend, because you're being splattered a true kind of plug and play to your business here with TelexFREE. There isn't an area that we're not going to completely and entirely cover. In reference to the compensation plan, in reference to how to market successfully your business so that you achieve 200, 300, 400% results when you walk away from that weekend. There's a lot of talent that's going to be there, a lot of skill.
Rob,
great time. Yes.
Rob.
Yeah.
Guess what?
What's that?
Not only are we going to talk about the compensation plan, we're going to talk about the new compensation plan. I am going to have the details along with a couple other leaders, and we're going to do a training on the new compensation plan, an in-depth compensation training of what the compensation plan is going to be in 2014. That's right, the new compensation plan. How do you feel about that, Rob?
I love it, LJ, and that's great big news to me. I didn't realize we were going to be able to release that at that event, so thank you very much. And again, everybody, this is just another identifier of the kinds of relationships that Roy and LJ have with corporate that nowhere else are you going to be able to get the unvarnished version, the 2.0 version of the compensation plan other than being in Vegas. So if you care about your business, care about your results, where do you want to be February 21st and 22nd? Las Vegas. Anybody you know, sideline, crossline, upline, downline, in this industry and within your TelexFREE framework and network, get them to Las Vegas. Thanks, LJ.
Hi, I'm John Moyer, and if you're watching this, it's because you're a TelexFREE promoter who's thinking about coming to the TelexFreakend in Las Vegas, Nevada. And let me tell you, you want to be there based on name alone. And I'm not talking about my name, because you don't really know who I am. Although I am the headlining hypnotist comedian that will be performing a hypnosis comedy show for you on Friday night and Saturday. But enough about me. This is about you. And if you are interested in more than doubling your TelexFREE income with doing little more than what you're doing right now, you need to be there that weekend. Because what happens in Vegas doesn't always necessarily stay in Vegas. See, you're going to go to Vegas for the TelexFreakend, and you're going to learn all these amazing new strategies. And you're going to leave Las Vegas. But the information you learned is going to stay in your head. It's not going to stay in Vegas. So what happened there is going to actually happen outside of Vegas for the entire universe. And everybody's going to be a lot better off because you went to the TelexFreakend. So I will see you there in Las Vegas.
No problem, Rob. Thanks for all that. Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I just found out that I'm going to be able to talk about the new compensation plan. I, for one, am not the best speaker, so I'll probably have one of the other professional leaders in our group really break it down at the event. So for those of you who are wondering about the new compensation plan, all will be unveiled to you in the weeks ahead, especially at the Vegas event. We're going to give you all the nooks and crannies, all the questions you've been asking about the new compensation plan. We're going to break it down for you. So I hope you're at the event so you can take advantage of that. Moving right along down to marketing. Some of the marketing efforts on our team from the wonderful Yolanda Lippens, the value of visual education, and she is good with that. Yolanda, if you wouldn't mind sharing about that topic, that'd be great. How are you?
I'm fine, LJ. I'm preparing for my trip. I'm leaving Sunday. So I am preparing already. Visual education, that is very important because when you only talk, then you have the risk that people are distracted by other things. But if you make it visual, you force them to look, to watch, and listen. And what I do when I have my first Skype meetings with prospects, I drag them to Skype, and sometimes I even teach them how to install Skype. And then I share my screen and I talk about the presentation. That's actually what I do. I force them to listen to me and to watch what I have to show. And that is also what I'm going to do in Vegas. I'm going to teach you about the power of the visual education, and also, of course, more things about you have a lead and now what do you do? And I think about 70% are missed. If you have a lead and you don't pick it up in the correct way, the lead is gone, it's vanished, it's just missed. And that is really a missed chance. And if you use visual education, then you force both channels in the head to absorb the information. Of course, we have people who are audio, they listen more, and you have people who are more visual, but if you do it both ways, it is something that works in stereo. So I think that's a good way to do, and realize that if you want to tell a person, maybe you can print out a PDF, you carry it with you in your purse, and you can just show it. And that is easier with just telling. So that's my part for tonight, and there will be a lot more in Vegas, so be there. That's it. Back to you, LJ.
Thank you very much, Yolanda. Looking forward to seeing you again in Las Vegas, Nevada. Have safe travels, and we'll see you then. Roy, if you're here, we'd love to hear you impart some new information, or actually just some information, some training about the e-wallet procedures. I know that you've made it your personal mission to educate the masses about this e-wallet because of its fundamental importance to what we're trying to do here with TelexFREE. Roy, are you there?
I am, LJ. Thanks. I was just responding to somebody's question here. So I don't have too much prepared about the e-wallet today. I was going to go over just a few customer service issues. I'll talk about it some, and then I wanted to do just a Q&A session. So we have some questions here. I'm going to respond to some people's questions about things and give you just a little bit of an update. The e-wallet, remember, and here's the basic way that this works. If you were to draw a little circle on the paper and say, here's my TelexFREE back office, and then next to it draw another little circle and say, here's my e-wallet, and then next to that draw another little circle and say, here's my bank. So remember that the e-wallet is basically in between our back office for TelexFREE and our bank. It allows us to move funds kind of back and forth between those, and it allows TelexFREE to concentrate on the things they need to do and not have to concentrate on all of the banking transactions. So the idea is that although the e-wallet is linked to our TelexFREE back office, remember it is managed and run by a separate company, and they have their own they have contracts with the credit card providers and all of that, so they can help us do credit cards, they can help us move money from our bank account both ways, from our e-wallet, from our back office to our bank account, or from our bank account into our e-wallet. A couple things that we found out when we went to the training in Fort Lauderdale the other day, one of the main ones was that our credit card limits have been greatly enhanced. We had some issues a number of months ago with a lot of credit card fraud. The credit card companies said, wait a minute, we have to stop this. So we've instituted a lot of procedures now, and you all know that when you somebody wants to pay with a credit card, they have to go through a verification process. Once they are verified, then they can use their credit card. That is working flawlessly. So because that is working so well, the credit card companies have agreed to raise the limit of the number of credit card transactions that we can process every day. So the credit card, being able to pay an invoice with a credit card is becoming much more viable issue. if somebody gets their credit card set up, gets verified, which takes a lot less time these days. It's a lot more convenient to get your credit card set up and get your credit card verified. Then they can use that to pay their invoice. If they still get the message that the company has reached their daily limit for that day, then have them just get ready, go in right after midnight Eastern time and try to run that transaction again. It will most likely work because there is some period during the day it clicks over at midnight Eastern time. So right after midnight Eastern time, you're able to run that transaction. The other ways that are working really well to pay your invoices are by bank wire. If you're outside the U.S., bank transfer. If you're inside the U.S., and there's also a cash payment option that you can use if you're paying an invoice. Right now there is a limit on that. They're trying to find out because that was supposed to be raised. So hopefully by next week we'll be able to do some training on the cash payment option. So yeah, our credit card limit is raised to $1.5 million a day now. So that helps out a lot, and that makes it so we can have a lot more credit card transactions. So a couple other things about customer service, and I had talked about this the other day. Excuse me just one second to get in here. I got two other things I'm going to talk about, and then I'll answer everybody's questions. We still have an issue a lot of times with people who all of a sudden say they can't access their statement history, their secondary password doesn't work. They try to request a secondary password, they can't get the email. What happens is if you've done something on your account, either you've gone in and tried to change your email and your password all the same day, the computer system says, uh-oh, somebody's trying to hack this account. And what it does is it stops your email. It puts a space in your email so that nobody can make changes to that account. It locks your account. It's a security feature. They're trying to protect us. But of course that means that we have issues accessing certain parts of our back office. So if that happens, if your secondary password doesn't work, just go request a new secondary password. And if you cannot get that email, then you have to send a message to the company, and you have to send it to this email address, the supportdayusa02@telexfree.com that you see on the screen here. You send an email to this address. Always give them your name, your username, your correct email address, just so they can check it and make sure, and then just make a statement saying my account has been blocked, my secondary password doesn't work, please fix my email, unblock my account, and they will go in and they will fix your email. One of the keys is that you have to attach a copy of your picture ID document. Always attach that whenever you send a support ticket to this email address at TelexFREE. Always attach a copy of your picture ID. That just proves that you are the owner of that account, and then they will work through it. I still get a lot of people sending emails saying, help, I can't access my account. And that's it. Maybe they give me the username, maybe they don't. And just understand that there's really not a lot they can do with that. If you send that to customer service, what do you expect them to do? So just be polite in your email, give them the information they need, username, email address, attach a copy of your ID, brief description of the problem and what you need done. And it can be, they're very helpful on stuff if you give them the right information and are able to tell them what you need done. So that's the best thing to do for customer service help, is use that support day USA 0202@telexfree.com. Use that email address. Another thing that people are still asking about is the renewal process, and I wanted to just go over a couple things with the renewal process. And I'm going to preface this by saying that most of you, I think, understand that that we've gone through this period where TelexFREE has had some issues with our computer system. Okay, it's when they started out in Brazil, they started out with a basic program for back office and all of that, and then they kind of found out that it was getting way overwhelmed. So we've gone through this process, and excuse me one second. like a radio announcer. I did the copy button. They've gone through this process where they have been rebuilding the computer system. They are getting very close to getting that done, but it also seems like continually things come up that our IT department has to focus on. One of the things they've been focused on recently is the new compensation plan. Like LJ said, there is a new compensation plan that's going to be coming out very soon. We're going to be able to announce some details of that at the Las Vegas event. The IT department has just been entirely focused on getting all of the programming in place for that new compensation plan. And so in the whole renewal process, there are some glitches still in the computer system. Now that they have the programming done for the compensation plan, they will be able to go back and get a lot of that fixed. So if you have issues where you've renewed, maybe you don't see your downline correctly or something, just know that that's all going to be fixed. It's all there. It's all in the database. It's just in the report section that it seems to be a problem. So that will all get fixed here real soon. The way the renewal process works is a few days before your annual, your 1-year anniversary date, you will see an invoice show up in your back office. The invoice is going to be for 20% of the income that was earned in that account during the year, and to see that, you can go to your reports page, click on the income tab, add up all the amounts there, take that times 20%. To that, you have to add the fee for the next year. So if it's an Ad Central, you're going to add $339. If it's a family, you're going to add $1425. That's the amount that the invoice should be, give or take a little bit. So that's the invoice that you'll have to pay. You can pay that invoice using any of the normal means. You can pay it using your back office funds. You can pay it through the e-wallet system. However you would be comfortable paying an invoice. You probably can't pay it with a credit card because it's probably going to be too much for the credit card limitations. So you have to be prepared. Look at your reports page, see when your activation date was, know when that renewal invoice is going to show up. We've also been told that once this new contract goes into place, the 20% is going to go away, meaning that on that date, the calculation for the 20% will stop. You will still have to pay a renewal invoice, and there's still going to be 20% calculated on the earnings up till that date. So for instance, if the new contract went into effect on March 1st, then you would still have to, when your renewal date hits, you would still pay 20% of your income up to March 1st. Your income after that would not be subject to the 20%. That's the idea of how it's going to work. So that's what we've been told, and that's kind of what we're figuring is going to happen here. We'll see when they get the new contract in place. So having said that, I'm going to go, let's see, I'm going to go down here through a few questions. So if you hang on, give me just 1 minute here. Somebody was asking about the commissions on the MFA product. I think we answered that. The company is going to pay commissions on that. I know that programming is pretty much in place, and so they just have to get that integrated into the website. Again, like I just said, they've been just so focused on getting this compensation plan done. Now they're going to go back and get a lot of this other stuff fixed. So the 1099s, if you live in the U.S. and you're expecting a 1099 form, the office staff has been working diligently over the last couple weeks to get all of that stuff put together, and so they are ready to send out the 1099s. We should see them start to pop up in our mailboxes here very soon. Roberto is asking about banking in foreign countries, and he's asking specifically about Indonesia and whether bank options are available there. It is difficult, as I'm sure you understand, to arrange banking relationships with banks all over the world. I could not even imagine what it takes to do that. So they are working. Part of this is with TelexFREE. Part of it is with e-wallet. We have to arrange all of these banking relationships. So they are working to get the banking relationships established in all countries. It is just a monumental task. So if you don't see your country listed on the form, and what we were told with the e-wallet is, like, if you're trying to wire funds or stuff like that, and you look and you do not see your currency listed, if it doesn't come up in your currency, just always default to euros. So just so you know, you can still send bank wires, you can still do transactions with e-wallet. It just has to be in euros if they don't accept the currency in the country where you reside. And as far as banking relationships, if you're trying to set up a bank account and your country is not listed, then you just have to basically, you know, come up with another idea. You have to use the prepaid card option perhaps, or whatever options are in there. I can't list them off the top of my head, but you know, you'll have to just go in and figure out what other options are available, because, like I say, it's difficult to be able to have banking relationships in every single country everywhere in the world. I do know that they are working on Indonesia and some of the Asian countries. So so paying, you know, you can pay from any country. You can use a credit card. You can do back office transfers. You can have your sponsor help you pay an invoice. You can wire funds into your account. The bank wire does work well. We talked about this last week, that when you go in, you have to go in and actually set up a bank wire in your e-wallet system. When you set that up, you'll see it'll have a page that you print out. At the bottom of that page, there'll be a reference number, a transaction number. That reference number has to be in the wire instructions that you take to your bank and have your bank send. You go to your bank, you say, I want to wire funds. Here's how much I want to wire. It will tell you if it can be in your currency of your country or if it has to be in euros. Most bank wires have to go in euros right now, so tell them you want to send it in euros, and then say, put this reference number in the memo section or the other instruction section of the bank wire. Don't put anything else in there with that. Don't put the date in, don't put any other information, just that reference number, because when they get those, the computer actually reads that number, and as long as that number is there and shows up, the bank wires can go through fairly quickly. So the bank wires are definitely a good option to pay invoices. They do work. They're not hugely costly, and so they do work. So you have the bank wire. In the U.S., you can use the bank transfer method. That's the bill pay, where you go set up a bill pay at your bank account. That works also. It takes a little bit longer. You know, if you're outside the U.S., I would use the bank wire or the credit card, or talk to your sponsor about using some back office funds. Those are really the best ways to do it. So hang on just one second here. Rob, is this something, I see a message to you, is this something we want to discuss from you? I'm trying to read this, excuse me.
Yes, it is, Roy.
Read this, excuse me.
Yeah, and Yolanda has a comment as well about credit cards.
Okay, go ahead, Yolanda. You go first.
You're up.
Okay, I'm in stereo. What I experienced here in the Netherlands, and I think it's all Europe, I hear an echo.
Rob, can you mute your mic, Rob?
Can you mute? Yeah, okay. That the credit cards company here in Europe usually block payments from American companies, especially when it's in high amounts. So if your credit card payment is not approved, it actually has nothing to do with TelexFREE. Just call your credit card company. I'm with Visa, so I just call my Visa and I tell them to approve the TelexFREE payment. You have to go through the process again. So you have to go through the payment again, fill in your number, etc., and then on the phone, that I had it a few times, they can see the payment come in and they can approve it. So it has nothing to do with TelexFREE if your credit card payment is blocked from Europe. So that's probably something else from the US. Here in Europe, they're very anxious, or very, you know, it's just a sort of security block payments from the US. So that was my extra information about credit card payments. Okay.
Thank you for that, Yolanda. So evidently we've just received a message that there's going to be a corporate update call. Is that going to be tomorrow, Rob? We'll get that. We'll get this sent out.
Yes, Roy, it is tomorrow. It's going to be
we'll get this sent out.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, Roy, it's going to be tomorrow at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
1 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. We're going to have a corporate update call. I will post this in the chat box here. If I can do a copy and paste thing. Excuse me one second. And then we'll, you know, what we try to do is we'll set up a set up a GoToMeeting webinar also. So if people are not able to call in here, hopefully I can get this in here. If people are not able to call in, they'll be able to dial in to our GoToWebinar call as well. So let's see if that went out. Tell me if that went out okay, Rob, if you can see it. So that gives you the call-in number and everything and what they're going to be talking about. So good news for that. We're going to have a corporate update call tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. And we'll send out a message too. We'll get a webinar platform set up, so if you're outside the U.S., you'll be able to call in easy on that. So a couple of real quick questions. We do record these. You know, I'll try to get it uploaded as soon as I can after the call here, and we'll get a link set out. I upload it back to the GoToMeeting platform, and then you can go in and listen to the recording. Carmen is asking about the comp plan, and honestly, we don't know all the issues with the comp plan still. There are going to be changes. You know, what Steve commented to us is that, you know, once the new comp plan goes into place, if you had somebody who maybe looked at TelexFREE and was not sure about the comp plan, go back to him, because he said this comp plan will propel us for the next 50 years. And so it's going to be great. I do not know the details of it. We'll just have to wait, and we'll get those. We'll get some of those at the Las Vegas event. So Giovanni is asking about paying when you pay with e-wallet funds. There are transaction fees, of course, you know, anytime you use a credit card or, you know, banking stuff. So yeah, there are certain fees that you're going to pay when you use your e-wallet. Let's see, copy the presentation. Billy is asking about the renewal fee, and yeah, understand, you know, I mean, the contract is a one-year contract. We've always known there would be an annual renewal and an annual renewal fee, and you know what my take on it is, all compensation plans are designed so that the company gets a certain amount of money and the promoters get a certain amount of money. And it depends a little bit on the promoter base, you know, how things transpire. Whenever you're starting a new network marketing company, you do certain calculations and you say, okay, we're going to have these many promoters, they'll have these many customers, you know, here's our expected income, here's what the promoters will make. You're never exactly sure how that's going to work out. So that was why they had this provision in there for this 20% fee. What Steve Labriola has told us is that anybody who does not renew and does not stick around for this next year is absolutely crazy, because there are so many good things happening. You know, you're going to miss out on a lot if you don't stick around. So I know it sounds like kind of a lot to pay, but you know, look at what you've made, look at the potential of what you can make next year. The company has said that you just need to renew your primary position. As long as you renew your primary position, if you have other contracts and if you feel that you don't want to renew all of them, you don't have to. you can renew your primary position, and then you can decide what you want to do with your other positions, and or if you just want to purchase more contracts for next year. So you have to renew your primary position, and I imagine Steve will probably talk about that some more in his message tomorrow. So I think that's it for me. We're about out of time. Anything else you guys want to say, jump in there. Otherwise, I'm going to say goodbye. I hope everybody has a terrific weekend. We're going to be back on Tuesday with a lot of information. Please, everyone, I encourage you to try to get to Vegas. That lineup of speakers that, honestly, Rob has put together for Vegas, you are not going to find that at any other event anywhere. I have never seen such a lineup of speakers. Talk about some great training. This is going to be awesome. So I really highly encourage you to give some really serious thought about trying to get to Vegas. And that's it for me. Anybody else want to say anything? Go ahead. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend.